What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite dating coach, Elliot Scott, and as you can see by the title below, we're going to talk about, can a man who is emotionally unavailable change, come back around, and commit? So, jumping right into this, I'm going to give you the answer, right? The answer is yes, he can. Yes, he can. That's the good news. The bad news is, unfortunately, yes, it comes with bad news, is what it takes for him to change. And that's what I want to make this video about, okay? So a guy can come, the way women think a guy comes back around and becomes available and commits is they think she thinks she's going to pull the no contact, I'm done with you. He's going to wake up and realize that you were the one and he's such an idiot and things like that, and then come back around and change his ways. That is not how it happens. First off, I would say you have to do your part. A lot of you do not even do that. A lot of you are hopeful, and not just like, blindly hopeful. I understand the guy might play the game, might say certain things and create a narrative that gets you, thinking that way, but it will not even start. The whole process of him changing will not even start if you are not doing your role, which is, oh, you don't want the same thing as me? We're not on the same page in terms of a relationship? Or you getting in your head and you're starting to pull away because you're not sure what you want? See you later. And you have to completely cut this dude off. Now, going back to what I said, is this the thing that's going to make him change? No, but it is the start of it, right? It's like getting into the car. It's not what makes you go to the destination, but you have to have the car. You have to get in there. You have to do something to get it going, okay? So you have to do this. Why? Because if you don't, the first thing you should ask yourself logically is, why would he change? Why? Ain't nothing, I'm not going anywhere. He knows that. And I tell women this all the time, that you have to look at all the evidence up to this point. If it looks like you're his bitch, no offense, if it looks like you're whipped, if it looks like you're desperate, needy, clingy, this, that, and your behavior is showing that, oh, he's not going to change. He has no reason to. You're not going anywhere. Where's the catalyst for change? Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, kind of going off of that, the guy's attempts. Okay, you have to look at it at attempt to change. You have to look. He's going to fight it. Number one, he has to realize he has a problem, and number two, the solution has to look better than what he currently has. And a lot of the times, it's not worth putting in the effort. And I don't blame the guy. I was that guy. Okay. It's not worth putting in the effort. I can still get laid. I can still get a lot of attention. I'm not even looking for a relationship, right? So the guy's thinking, well, if I'm still attracting these women, as long as I'm a little bit more honest, I guess, I could just do that instead of trying to change who I am. Because what a lot of women don't want to accept is that if a man doesn't want a relationship, there's nothing wrong with that. If a man wants to play the field, hang out, have fun, hook up, and talk to multiple women, there's nothing wrong with that, okay? It only becomes a problem when he is leaving a path of destruction in his way, meaning every woman he talks to is the same pattern where he, thinks he wants something, he leads her on as if she wants the same thing, not by his behavior, but by what he says. You're this amazing woman, I want to commit, I want a family, I want this, blah, 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 all that type of shit. Okay, gets you into that mindset. You guys are a month or two in, and then he dips off, right? That's where he becomes more of a liability to society and the dating market than an asset, than someone who can come in here as a high value man and take a beautiful, awesome woman like yourself, of course, and you guys start something amazing. That's where it becomes a problem. But a guy has to see that. And what happens a lot of the times, ladies, is it's really easy for a guy, two things. One, I just kind of said, which is, I don't have to change. I like what this is. I just won't do that again. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is, a guy has to want the relationship. If he's emotionally unavailable, the first thing he's immediately going to say is, oh, she just wasn't the one. I'll do it for the one. And that's because a lot of the times when a guy has some type of emotional unavailability, what follows up with that is FOMO, like the fear of missing out. He's not fearful of commitment. At least I wasn't. It wasn't that I feared commitment. It was fearing committing to the wrong person. Now, here's the thing. I don't want you, this is the funny little twist to it, the plot twist. I don't want you thinking you were the problem. And I'm not just saying that to get on your good side. You actually weren't, right? Let me be a little dick here. Is there better options than you? Yes. Like statistically, God, don't unsubscribe or click off. Statistically, there are better options. That's just how it is. Out of the millions and millions and millions and millions of women out there in the world, you are not the best option, and vice versa. You can find guys way better than him, especially because he's emotionally unavailable. But, right, he's going to tell himself that it just wasn't you. However, the problem is, when you have FOMO, I don't know if you guys remember my old videos back in the day. I talk about the Jennifer Aniston effect. I got to change it to something else now because I don't care for Jennifer Aniston. Too basic for me. I'm not even going to get into it. But what I meant with that concept is, if someone like Jennifer, it's like, are you really emotionally unavailable? Because if someone like Jennifer Aniston came up to me and said, hey, Elliot, you want a relationship? I'll say, hell yeah, right? But the problem is that's so blasphemous, that's so crazy, the fact that she would even talk to someone like me, or I'll even get the opportunity to pass her up, let alone her say, hey, you want to go on? Like, that's just, it's so outlandish, right? That's a man's expectations when he's emotionally unavailable. She has to be so awesome, so badass, so perfect when there's no such thing, right? That then he'll commit. So what ends up happening is 99.9% of the population and all the women he talks to are going to be in the same situation you are. So if he is pulling this BS with you, and let's say he's talking to someone else, he's going to pull the same bullshit with her. And then after, she's going to get tired of it, just like you did, and then he's going to go to the next, and the same shit's going to happen. I have a couple clients, and I know they're going to watch this. I'm not going to put their information out there, but it's funny. I have 3 different clients who are all talking. They're all from New York City, okay? And they're all talking to this same guy who's from the UK. And he lives in New York City. And this is over time. This isn't all just like in one day or something, or a week or whatever. But I just had 3 different clients over time who I was talking to one client, about the first client, about this guy. And I'm like, man, we'll call him John. And I'm like, I don't know. I didn't trust John. I was like, something's up with John, blah, blah, blah. We gave up on John because it's like, no, John's pulling some bullshit. Then months later, I talked to another client, and she's telling me the exact same story, that he's from the UK, that he's this, that he's that he says the same things. And I'm like, is his name John? She's like, yeah. Again, that's not his real name. She's like, yeah. I'm like, does he blah, 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 giving all this. She's like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't the dude, right? And so she ended up not listening to me, and she learned the hard way. Thought she was fucking different. Not trying to hate on her if she's watching this. I guess she thought she was different, or he was going to commit. No, he ended up talking to another girl, which was another client. Okay, and I'm like, this guy sounds really familiar. Is his name John? Yeah, I'm not even joking, guys. If you're in New York, I feel bad for you. Watch out for this guy. And what I'm trying to get at is this guy was just leaving a path of destruction. He wasn't willing to change. Okay, he wasn't willing to change. So getting into the meat of this video, what causes a man to change? In my opinion, I truly do believe it's self-reflection. It's not your job to make him do this. It's not your job to bring it up. It's not your job to fix it. It's not your job to do anything. But for me, it got to a point, now I'm 35, it got to a point where it just got lonely. It's just like you're just doing this bullshit over, the women over and over and over again. Not that I've done it recently, I'm just like in my past, especially in my 20s, I got really messed up bad from a woman. Not blaming her or women, she's a great girl, it was my fault. I was doing all the stuff that you all do that I teach you not to do, so I shouldn't. That's how I know all this. I learned the hard way, but I did not heal correctly, and I was this guy that was just going down a bad path. But it wasn't until I sat there and I realized, man, like, this isn't what I want for my life. Like, yeah, the attention's nice. Yeah, guys like a variety of women, but at the end of the day, when you start wanting to better yourself as a man, bigger, better things, building an empire, wanting a legacy, you got to have a fucking woman by your side. You got to have a badass bitch. She's not a bitch, future wife. If you're watching this, you're not a bitch. But you got to have a badass B by your side. You got to have a cool ass chick, right? Supportive, loving, caring, fine as fuck, raises your value in the same status as you. Not when I say status, I don't mean like economical status. I just mean like same tribe and same things, same values, beliefs, similarities, or a lot of them at least, where you guys work together really well. That starts looking really, 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 really good comparative to the bunch of 6 or 7s that got, or 8s even a guy is talking. 8's pretty fucking high. 6 or 7s a guy is talking to. I always say sometimes if a guy is emotionally unavailable or he's just not in the mindset, he'd rather have 3 7s than 1 10. That was me. But when you meet that badass chick, okay, and you're in the mindset that you want, it's all self-improvement in a nutshell. I could have just made this 15 seconds. It's all about self-improvement. As soon as he wants to better his life and better himself, that's where he'll start peeling back the layers and realizing, the attributes or the addition that a high quality woman could add. But the problem is a lot of you think you're hearing this, right? I know what you're thinking. You're hearing this and you're thinking, okay, I could be that girl. If I let him go, how's he going to see that I'm that girl? That's not how it works. You have to let him go. He has no reason to change. He has no reason to think otherwise if he cannot be exposed to the regret, right? Like if you stay around, it's like, okay, cool. How would he know what he's doing is wrong? You're not going anywhere. You're a big girl. Guys, I used to say this to myself all the time. She's a big girl. She knows I don't want a relationship. I told her she doesn't want a relationship, right? And the woman would stay, and I still wouldn't feel bad. Today, I still wouldn't feel bad. You're a grown-ass woman. But hey, you play by emotions. Men play by logic. Why would I change if she's not going anywhere? She knows I don't want a relationship. I told her, but she's sticking around. Hopefully, okay, that's on her, right? That's the justification a lot of guys would tell themselves. So you do have to let this guy go. You do have to give him the opportunity to miss you. And then when he grows, and maybe he regrets it, but that's on his terms. That's on his time. That's what he has to do. So that being said, ladies, if you want to work with me and go over your guy and your situation, especially if it's something like this, link is down below along with my guides. I will put a link right here somewhere for a playlist on getting guys to regret losing you. And maximize your chances. Again, I also talk about this a lot in my guides. Ladies, I love you all. Take care and peace.